Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things having to do with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and his beautiful wife, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. If you're new here, I invite you to click on the subscribe button right now and join me on this odyssey where we explore the life and times of this very fascinating couple and their family and extended family and their friends and, just all of the things that make them so incredibly fascinating to all of us around the world. So I'm up and sleepless in Paris as usual. One of my problems is I do go to bed very early. I do go to bed very early, and then I wake up at the very ungodly hour. I'm not going to tell you what time it is because you're going to die laughing. But so I'm up, and so I thought, okay, let's just make a video, and hopefully it will make me sleepy, so I can fall back to sleep again. So I was looking at Yahoo News and I saw that apparently the Daily Mirror, you know how Harry is suing the Daily Mirror, right? And I did a few videos about that already. And as it turns out, it appears that the barristers for the Daily Mirror, who again Harry is suing in a UK court at the moment, the barristers, the lawyers for the Daily Mirror have said that these stories Harry is complaining about, Harry claims that the Daily Mirror hacked into his phone and they used information illegally obtained to write all of these stories about him and expose his entire life and privacy to the international community. And basically, the Daily Mirror, the publisher of the Daily Mirror, has clapped back and said that in fact they did not hack into Harry's phone to obtain the information. They got the information from the royal family itself. Now, it's not that that's like a big shock because Harry did say in his book Spare that his family was prone to leak warfare, what's the word I want to use? Was prone to leaking information to the press. And he got a lot of backlash from that from Meghan and Harry haters in England and around the world. He was called a liar, he was called a traitor, among other things. And it was claimed that he had thrown his family under the bus without justification, pretty much. And recently, Queen Camilla's son has defended his mom in an interview and basically denying that, any wrongdoing had occurred. And Camilla apparently issued a statement saying that, through her friends, saying that she was very hurt by the allegations in Harry's book that she was behind some of these leaks. But apparently, somebody was behind the leaks because now that the Daily Mirror has been sued in a court of law and a lot of money is on the line, they have been basically spilling the beans and they have outed the royal family. They have not said which specific member of the royal family gave them these stories, but they have basically admitted in court exactly what Harry alleged in his book Spare, that the royal family was leaking on Harry and Meghan. And while that's not a big shock, in a way, to me, it is a big shock because it's now confirmed that Harry is telling the truth. Harry told the truth in his book that members of the royal family are literally in bed with the British press. There's a quid pro quo relationship, a symbiotic relationship between the royal family and the British media. It suggests a level of corruption that has no words. And this whole time, where the royal family has remained silent, and everybody in England has called that a dignified, quote unquote, dignified silence, it now appears that there was nothing dignified about it at all. It was a silence of a complicit. It was a silence of complicity, I should say. These people are complicit in the plot to destroy Meghan and Harry through the press. And they're silent because they can't speak against their co conspirators without jeopardizing their own situation. However, despite their silence, their co conspirator is now coming forward and admitting that indeed they did get these stories from the royal family. I think this is an earthquake. I don't know how how heavy, or is that the word, or strong this earthquake is going to be on the Richter scale. I think we're just starting to feel the tremors of that earthquake. But I think this story and this lawsuit is going to lead to a massive earthquake in the royal family, because we just crowned the king and queen. I mean, Camilla was supposed to be queen consort, for example, and she came out of this with the title of queen. And this was clearly not what they said was going to happen, etc., etc. I mean, and that's a different video. But I think that if in fact the Daily Mirror is being truthful, that they got these scoops directly from the royal family, then I think Harry's barristers will have to insist that they say exactly who that is, right? Because it's not enough to give some kind of vague, oh, this came from the royal family. What does that mean? The royal family is not a person, right? In the sense that it's just a concept. Who in the royal family? Which individual or individuals did this? Because that's important. If the Daily Mirror is going to get out of liability and out of paying for their wrongdoing, they're going to have to literally prove that they are not guilty of what Harry said they did. And in order to do that, it's going to take more than a vague, oh, the royal family gave us this information. The royal family is just a concept. I mean, it's an institution. You know, it's not a person, right? Who in the royal family? You can't. Who in the royal family gave the Daily Mirror this information? I think that's very, very key, and I think that there's going to be a very serious earthquake in this family that could be the beginning of the end of this institution called the British monarchy. It's going to reverberate. This earthquake is going to reverberate. It's going to ricochet. It's just going to, really, I think everything is going to change. Everything is going to change when this lawsuit is over, and people are going to be left slack-jawed and with their mouths wide open in shock. And it's just going to be epic, right? Because if the Daily Mirror is claiming that members of the royal family are the ones who gave them this, and Harry was telling the truth all along, and and then whatever Piers Morgan's involvement is, this whole thing is going to come tumbling down. This is a deck of cards. And in the end, you could end up with a King Harry, actually. But I've always felt something about Harry was strange. He may be the next king of England. How that's going to happen, I don't know, but he is the next king of England. And this lawsuit is the beginning of bringing that into fruition. Your thoughts?